And robbers is a familiar scene in television dramas, but what TV viewers in Los Angeles saw today was the real thing live as it happened. Cops shooting it out with bank robbers dressed as commandos. 2 robbers were killed, 5 civilians, and 8 police officers were wounded. John Blackstone has our report.
A Los Angeles suburb became a combat zone today as police battled a team of bank robbers trying to escape a holdup. The robbers seemed armed for war, with automatic weapons and armor-piercing bullets. For an hour, police were clearly outgunned by the brazen holdup team. At least 5 officers were shot and wounded, 3 civilians wounded. One of the robbers, protected by body armor, walked boldly alongside the getaway car as news helicopters watched overhead.
He's firing his weapon right now, Kyle, as he runs. You can see the shells ejecting from the side.
The car took off down a residential street. The gunman, on foot, now using a handgun, kept trying to shoot his way out.
Okay, he's got a pistol out now. Okay. Down.
The getaway car kept going, with the gunman inside, firing out the front windshield and trying to ram other cars, apparently looking for another vehicle for his escape. He finally stopped the pickup, but police caught up with him. There was another wild shootout, another robber shot dead. But police believe at least one suspect and possibly more got away into the neighborhood. They warned residents to stay inside with their doors locked. At one point, police believed they'd trapped the suspect. They called in armored cars and battered their way into a backyard shed, but found nothing. With a large section of the Los Angeles suburbs sealed off, police began a house-to-house search, looking not only for suspects, but also for others who may have been injured in the frenzy of shooting.
The one weapon that we've identified can go through a bulletproof vest at 200 yards.
The gunmen were so clearly prepared for combat, it's raised questions whether they belong to some organized militia. For now, police say only that they are a particularly vicious gang of bank robbers. John Blackstone, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Recapping denials all over the place on this story tonight. We'll learn a lot more in the hours to come. Now going out west on the streets of North Hollywood, California today, what looked like a movie in the making, men in commando gear, body armor, crooks reeling off round after round from a machine gun. But this wild shootout was very much real. We have live pictures tonight of what is going on in the streets of North Hollywood, California, the aftermath there. NBC's David Bloom on one strange and deadly day in Los Angeles.
It was a crystal clear Los Angeles morning just after 9 a.m. when the alarm sounded at Bank of America's North Hollywood branch. The robbery was botched. Police were quickly on the scene, and what followed was what one cop called a horrendous firefight, hitting 2 or more black-clad commando-like bank robbers wearing full body armor, firing armor-piercing ammunition against Los Angeles police. Less than an hour later, 1 suspect was dead, 1 mortally wounded, 8 police officers injured, 5 bystanders hurt, and a manhunt was on because 1 or more bank robbers might have escaped the dragnets. This is how it unfolded. 9:48 a.m., the gun battle is underway. 1 suspect firing an AK-47 style assault rifle from outside the bank. His partner driving a white getaway car, whose tires already blown out just a few feet away. 1 police officer is down. Fellow officers slam a squad car in reverse, trying to get the injured officer out of harm's way.
He must have fired over 500 rounds. Unbelievable. It was like a war zone, and he just kept doing it, and the cops were all pinned down. One of them was bleeding pretty bad.
As the getaway car driver joins the gun battle, he shoots out his car window, pushing the broken glass aside. His partner reloads, deciding to use the car as a shield, casually walking alongside, firing at police, bystanders, even the police and news helicopters flying overhead. 9:50 a.m. The gunman on foot crouches behind a tractor trailer. 9:51 a.m. He walks cavalierly toward police, now only a sidearm in hand, and is killed by a gunshot to the head. The getaway car driver, having tried to commandeer a pickup truck, now surrounded by police, opens fire indiscriminately. Unsure of where police are, he fires to his far right, then under the pickup. But he's hit and at 9:58 a.m. throws down his gun. Police move in. The gunman dies a short time later. David Bloom, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Ahead as we continue.
A bank robbery that went very wrong as millions of people watched on live television. A gang of heavily armed men and hundreds of police fought gun battles in the streets of North Hollywood. At least 2 of the gunmen are dead, 8 police officers and 5 civilians injured. In California, ABC's Judy Muller.
Wearing full body armor and armed with automatic weapons, including AK-47s, the gunman turned North Hollywood into a war zone.
You guys, just to let you know, I think I'm taking fire here. Reports of gunfire and with automatic weapons. Use caution.
At least 3 men were involved in the failed robbery attempt at the Bank of America. Immediately afterwards, one gunman used the getaway car as a shield as he fired at police across the street. At one point, the getaway driver joined in the shootout. One officer was seriously wounded. As the 2 men moved out of the bank parking lot, one walked away from the car and began firing almost casually in all directions. Police officers under fire scurried to get in position. The gunman was killed with a shot to the head. His partner, meanwhile, was driving the disabled getaway car down the street, firing at news helicopters overhead. He commandeered a pickup truck, shooting through its windshield and forcing the terrified driver to flee. At that point, the SWAT team arrived and another shootout began. It ended when officers shot the suspect several times, fatally wounding him. That left at least 1, perhaps more suspects still on the loose. Police were taking no chances, questioning even innocent bystanders in the neighborhood. Then came word that a 3rd suspect might be holed up in a backyard shed. The SWAT team moved in with a battering ram but found no one. Meanwhile, schools and roads in the area were closed, and citizens were advised to stay in their homes as the search continued.
These are very organized, brutal bank robbery suspects. They're killers.
Police said the gunmen are believed to have committed a series of robberies throughout Southern California, and they called it a tragedy that police are increasingly outgunned by criminals who have access to such heavy firepower. Judy Muller, ABC News, Los Angeles.
In for Lloyd Robertson, here is Peter Murphy.
Good evening. It was a scene right out of an action-packed Hollywood movie. Bloody gun battles between cops and robbers on the streets of suburban Los Angeles today. But this shootout was the real thing, played out live on television. Heavily armed bandits sprayed bursts of gunfire at police officers after a botched bank robbery. The police responded by bringing in the heavy weaponry. And when it was all over, 2 robbers lay dead, several police officers and bystanders were injured. With more on this Wild West shootout, here's John Blackstone.
A Los Angeles suburb became a combat zone today as police battled a team of bank robbers trying to escape a holdup. The robbers seemed armed for war, with automatic weapons and armor-piercing bullets. For an hour, police were clearly outgunned by the brazen holdup team. At least 5 officers were shot and wounded, 3 civilians wounded. One of the robbers, protected by body armor, walked boldly alongside the getaway car as news helicopters watched overhead.
He's firing his weapon right now, Kyle. As he runs, you can see the shells ejecting from the side.
The car took off down a residential street. The gunman, on foot, now using a handgun, kept trying to shoot his way out.
Okay, he's got a pistol out now. Okay. Down.
The getaway car kept going, with the gunman inside, firing out the front windshield and trying to ram other cars, apparently looking for another vehicle for his escape. He finally stopped the pickup, but police caught up with him. There was another wild shootout, another robber shot dead. But police believe at least 1 suspect and possibly more got away into the neighborhood. At one point, police believed they'd trapped the suspect. They called in armored cars and battered their way into a backyard shed, but found nothing.
One weapon that we've identified could go through a bulletproof vest at 200 yards.
The gunmen were so clearly prepared for combat, it's raised questions whether they belong to some organized militia. For now, police say only that they are a particularly vicious gang of bank robbers. John Blackstone, CBS News, Los Angeles.
A new report in the United States tonight says Timothy McVeigh has confessed to the bombing in Oklahoma City.
And compelling audio tape tonight from that terrible shootout in Los Angeles last week. This is what dispatchers heard as the bank robbery and gunfight unfolded.
We need help out here. We got officers down. Yes. You better get an attack alert here.
Any unit know how many officers are down? We have one.
More than one. More than one. Get attack alert going. I've been hit.
1540 advised he has been hit. Attack alert is being declared.
There's a wounded also. LA9, I'm losing conscience also.
999, hang in there. 9037 is almost there.
LA9, thank you. Thank you, fucking. 50 out 10, if somebody has a shot, take it. Take it. If this guy is not going down, he's got heavy body armor. Go for the head. 50 out 10. If the ends have a shot of the suspect, go for the legs. They don't have body armor on their legs.
If you've ever wondered what it would be like to be surrounded by a hail of bullets and not be able to fight back, listen carefully. Los Angeles police have released more audio tapes from a bank shootout last Friday. And as Tricia Toyota reports, they tell an unforgettable story.
Being notified, code 3, all officers stay down. Shots are being fired from AK-47. There is an officer down.
Stay back. Stay back.
Initially, police were told to back off the suspect in the white car.
Do not stop it. They've got automatic weapons. There's nothing we have that can stop them. They have armor-piercing ammo.
What type of ammunition?
They possibly have armor-piercing ammo. Get attack alert going. I've been hit.
1540 advised he has been hit. Attack alert is being declared.
There's a wounded also.
Police decide they need more firepower. B&B Guns is the nearest big gun dealer.
Responding to B&B Guns.
15 Crash 41 is going to get guns.
Personnel B&B open. We're retrieving several AR-15s for the unit.
And then the awful realization that many people, including almost a dozen officers, have already been hit by high-powered gunfire.
The officers down at the Hughes Family Market requesting a supervisor to organize a unit to go in and get the officers.
We've got several civilians here also.
Roger, several civilians are hit. Shots are still being fired. Officers use caution.
Affirmative. South of Hughes, in the parking lot and in the building. Multiple officers hit.
Multiple officers hit. They're sending in a tank.
Finally, reinforcements arrive.
50 out 10. At this point, the ball game is with SWAT and the suspects until SWAT can take them down. 50 out 10. If somebody has a shot, take it. Go for the head.
Tricia Toyota for CBS News.